Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. How are you doing tonight? Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. I'm doing well this evening. I hope each and every one of you doing well. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. Wow. Okay. I think we're going live now. We're doing well. How are you beautiful people doing today? Is everyone doing well? Is everyone doing well? Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is H. Terrence Bardui. Some people call me H. Some people call me Havis. Some people call me Terrence. Some people call me Mr. Bardui. And if you're from the what? The 767, Whitey Cooley, the Commonwealth of Dominica, tall is her body. You call me what? Little boy. But if you from La Pointe, aka Point Michel, St. Luke's Parish, you call me Luke Boy. Dominica made me, Boston raised me, now the South sustains me. How are you doing tonight? Hope everyone's doing well tonight. I hope everybody's doing well. So welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. Let me see if there's anybody watching right now. Let's hit a go live. I think it's working now on the stream. Yeah, there we go. We should be live now on the stream. Everybody should be live on Instagram now. So, welcome. How are you people doing? I'll be looking for comments. Mr. Alvin, welcome, sir. How you doing? Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. It's another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. Let me just make sure. YouTube is having some technical difficulties today, so I'm going to check to make sure that it's working right, because we don't want it to not. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's working fine now. All right, there goes our YouTube. That's right. Let's put it up there so everybody can get to see. Put it on my WhatsApp page so everybody can take a look at me tonight. All right, let's put it to the side. Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome. Let's make it a green background here. All right. And here we go. We are live now. People on WhatsApp can take it. I am live now. Let me put live, L-I-V-E now. So how are you people doing? You know, I was just watching the news a little while ago, and they said the bombing has been suspended for 48 hours. Praise the Lord. I pray that there's no bombing period, but it's one of those things. So how are you doing? I want to say welcome, Mr. Avin Vasa. How are you doing tonight? Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence, Peach Goodwill, and welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence as well. And whoever else is tuning in, welcome to the program. We have a good program in store for you tonight. I see Mindab on Instagram is watching as well. So welcome to you. And anybody else is going to tune in. Let's play our theme song as we start the show. Let's get it. Like they say back in the day, let's get this party started, right? Let's get this party started quickly. All right, here we go. There we go. There we go. Boom.
Dominica made me, that's where it all began. Island breeze, coconut trees, the heart of my plan. From the hills and the smiles to the songs of the sea, that island spirit molded the person I'd be. Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray. On those snowy streets, Learn to stand tall, navigating life, every rise, every fall. From the commons to the brownstones, I made my claim. With every lesson learned, I embraced my name. Boston raised me with its hustle and grind.
Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence.
City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray.
Good evening, all. Good evening.
Now the South sustains me with its warm embrace, a community of strength and love in every space. From the bayous to the beaches, I found my place. In this journey of finance, I've learned to chase grace. Dominica made me, Boston raised me high. The South sustains my soul as I reach for the sky. With every sunrise, I'm thankful and free. A licensed financial pro, just being me. So here's to the roots that shaped who I am. From Dominica's beauty to Boston's Grand Slam. In the South I stand strong with purpose and pride. Together with my journey, side by side.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Bardui Joan, how are you all the way in Aruba? And everybody else is watching. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. It's another Tuesday evening. It's 7 p.m., a little after 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, every Tuesday at this time, we get on the show. Eddie Bardui, Sakafet Gasa, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. I want to say welcome to all those who are tuning in. It's another Tuesday evening. Like I said, I checked the news a little while ago. And the good thing is, okay, someone just told me they're coming on soon. I'll give them a shout out when they come on. The good news is there's no bombing for another 48 hours, they say. Let me say, I will give you a shout out. Give you a shout out. That's a friend of mine who's in town. And I haven't seen him like 30 years. So probably get to hook up with them very soon. But anyways, the good news is there was no bombing of Iran. Praise the Lord, from whom all blessings flow. And I hope they just squash this thing and move on from there, because all that bombing and all that war, man, wars and rumors of wars, I'm tired of it. Tired. So the markets, the Dow Jones was down high earlier, but it came back a little bit. It was only down 85.42. The Nasdaq was up 21.51, and the S&P is up 5.02. And so that's good news. I don't want to see markets tank anymore. A lot of the promises that was made by this current administration is not being fulfilled. I'm not surprised. Excuse me, not at all. I'm not surprised, but this is not a political show. It's a financial show. But, these are signs of the times, and these are current events. So you have to address them to a certain degree. This past weekend was the Resurrection Weekend. Some people say Easter. I hope you had a good one. Yesterday in the Caribbean was Easter Monday. That's like usually a beach splash. People go to the beach or the river, and you have a one pot, you do a little barbecue, you have a good time with family and friends. That was a good time back in the days in the Caribbean, but here it's not a holiday. So all those who are in the Caribbean who enjoyed their Easter Monday holiday, I hope you had a great time. I hope you had a great Resurrection Weekend. He's alive. I hope you went to church and celebrated. My church had a play. It was a great play, actually. It's actually on my page on Saturday. I shared it onto my page. I had played Judas Iscariot, who had to kiss Jesus and, betray him. It was a pretty good play, man. It was really good. We had a good turnout. There was a lot of people in church. It's usually at Easter, Christmas, around that time of the year. A lot of people who don't normally go to church attend, and that's good. We'll take it. We'll take it. It's one of those things. We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. Let me see. Shut this off for a moment because it's doing all that pinging all the time. But how are you all doing? I want to say hello to Robin. Martin, I think she just logged on, so watching for a little bit. Hello, Robin, and everybody else who's watching. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. How is your week going? Is your week going okay so far? Are you fighting the demons? Are you having challenges? But that's part of life. So just take it as they come and positive. So tonight our show is entitled April is Financial Literacy Month. All right, Robin. Yes. Oh, you're a Bible study tonight. Wait a minute. Your Bible. If you're a Bible study, how come you tuning into Tuesdays with Terrence? I'm going to call your pastor and tell him that you watching Tuesdays with Terrence, where you're supposed to be a Bible study. But I ain't hating on you. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the support, Robin. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the support. And for all those else who are watching, welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. Now, April is Financial Literacy Awareness Month, right? And a lot of people say, well, what is Financial Literacy Awareness Month? They have all these different kinds of months. Life Insurance Awareness Month, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Women's History Month. They got Black History Month, Indigenous People Month, Hispanic Heritage Month. There's all kind of months. But regardless of where you are or who you are, you said no Bible study tonight. Oh, my bad. All right, let me retract that call to your pastor. I was about to call your pastor and get you in trouble, but now that you said there's no Bible study tonight, we will not do that. For those of you who are watching, welcome. I thank you. There's other places you could have been tonight, but you decided to tune in with your boy and watch a little bit. So I want to thank you so much for that. All right, cool. So Financial Literacy Awareness Month. You're like, Financial Literacy Awareness Month. What's that? So if you get your phones, for those of you, some of you might be watching on your phones, some of you may not. But if you take your phone and you say, let's go to Google, and we say we type in Financial Literacy Awareness Month. Financial Literacy Awareness Month. All right, I just pulled it up. It says National Financial Literacy Month. All right. And let me just say a little bit about it. It says right here, it's celebrated in April. So we are in April, right? Can you believe it? We're already in the 4th month of the year. Spring has already sprung last month. In a couple of months, it'll be summer. I hope everybody is getting their summer body ready. Mine is still a little chubby, But it says Financial Literacy Awareness Month, celebrated in April. National Financial Literacy Month aims to raise awareness of the importance of financial literacy and encourage healthy financial habits. Healthy financial habits is a good thing to have. A lot of us, sometimes we don't have a money problem, we have a spending problem. So if we have a spending problem, we have to curtail certain things. It says the month aims to help consumers like you make informed financial decisions by increasing their knowledge and skills. It encourages people to review and improve their finances and to understand personal finance and investing. All right. So this afternoon, one of my clients called me today, and they wanted me to do something for their mom, And I went to help him with that. And actually, this client, I'm going to send them the Tuesdays with Terrence. Maybe they'll tune in. You know, I'm going to say I am live, laugh out loud, because every now and then they tune in. But anyways, and we helped their mom with some stuff that we took care of. But financial literacy is for everybody. It's not just for those with money, or people think of those who are wealthy or those who are rich. That's not what it means. When you have awareness, it's just like breast cancer awareness month. People wear pink. Does pink wearing pink cure cancer? It doesn't. It just brings the awareness, right? It brings the awareness so people know what they need to do. It brings the awareness. That's all it is, man. It brings the awareness. So if it has the awareness, you gotta stay in shape financially. So, for example, there is a ad I saw, and they asked this lady. It was an Asian lady or Southeast Asian lady. How many subscriptions does she have? And she said two. She said like Netflix and something else, right? That's all she said. But when the guy downloaded this app on her phone and he ran it, she had like 25 subscriptions for stuff. And she was paying an extra $400 a month. Now, you know, even like, for example, like even cable, I don't even see the value of, the internet, yeah, but cable is expensive. And I'm starting thinking about that, I'm like, all I want is internet. I don't care about cable, because I don't need to watch TV. Anything you need to watch, you can watch on your phone, technically speaking. So basically, but having the internet, you're wasting money. I know I am, you know, of what I'm paying a month. I know I am. So basically, it's important. So for us to take an inventory of what we're spending on unknowingly and unnecessarily. When you're spending unknowingly and unnecessarily, you're actually affecting your financial situation. So can you imagine if you had an extra $400 a month, like I just told you in that scenario with that woman, an extra $400 a month? Can you imagine how much money extra that would be? That's a lot of money, that you could be saving or you could be putting aside for your future self. Some of us don't do that, right? Some of us don't do that, but it's very, very important that we do that. We have to make sure that we're putting stuff away, putting stuff aside. So, for those of you who may be having some challenges, this month is a good month to do an assessment. Do an assessment and say to yourself, man, am I spending too much frivolously? Am I spending too much on stuff I don't need to be spending on? You know, are you doing that? I want to say good evening to Melinda Frazier and everybody else who's watching tonight. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. Folks, a lot of times we make decisions financially that affects us, and sometimes it's subtle decisions and we're not even aware of it. The subtle decisions we're not aware of, and we're spending money on foolishness. So, like for example, like eating out. Sometimes we spend money on eat. Now, nothing is wrong with going out to eat, every now and then, or you go and eat on special days. But going like eating out all the time, it's kind of it becomes pricey, you know. And I know some people they have a, a palette of food tasting, and yeah, but you can't do that. Yes, Miss Melinda. Good evening. Good evening. How are you? You can't do that. You can't. Sometimes learn to cook. You don't know how to cook. Learn to cook. Or you can make easy things like stir fries, and like right now I'm looking at all these plantains that I have over there. I think tonight I'm going to fry some plantains or cook some plantains. One of the other, I cooked some already, but I need to fry some and eat some plantains. Instead of going to the Jamaican restaurant and buying, you get like two plantains, a side of plantains. You pay $5-6 for. You get like three plantains. Come on, that's not even a whole plantain. You know, so you have to make sure that you are spending wisely. So this month, it's my challenge to each and every one of you to make sure that you take an inventory of what you're spending on frivolously. Like, last night, you know, I had an appointment. I got back really late and I had to get gas. I get the highest grade. You know, I went to the Wawa and I bought gas and it costs almost $90 to fill up my tank. $90, right? Well, you need gas because you need to move around, right? So that's a necessity. You need a car to get around. But do you need all the stupid subscriptions that you have? Like I'm trying to think the subscriptions that I have. I pay for storage on my phone, which is a travesty. I shouldn't even be doing that because I probably have 100,000 pictures in my phone, and probably like 30, 20 to 35% of it are duplicate pictures. And there's an app where you can delete that, but I'm paying for that. I have a music subscription, through YouTube. I have Sirius XM radio in my car. And there's other things I have subscriptions that I have to pay for work, like Zoom, StreamYard that I'm broadcasting from tonight. Some other financial stuff that I have for work, to do my job that I subscribe to. Those things what I subscribe to those things to make me to earn a living. It's like today, like I said, I was helping this young lady, very nice lady. As a matter of fact, she has the same namesake as my eldest sister. And after we helped them with something, she says, "Well, what do I owe you?" And I'm like, "A hug?" No, 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 no. Tell somebody about me, so I can help them, and that way that'll compensate me properly. That's how my business is predicated on referrals, and word of mouth is the best that you can do. So for those of you, let me see if anyone watching tonight. We have about 10 or more people watching. I don't know if I have a friend visiting from New York who's in town with their cousin from Bermuda, and the daughter attend Virginia State. And I don't know if they're watching, but if you're watching, Brent, welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. Also, Mandy, if you're watching, welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence as well. And I hope you guys are enjoying your time here in Virginia. Hopefully, we can catch up tomorrow. I do have a funeral to attend to, but hopefully we can catch up. I have a couple other things for work to do. But yeah. But with that being said, and to all others who are watching, whatever platform you're watching, whether it's Instagram or you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on YouTube, or LinkedIn, wherever you're watching, welcome, welcome, and welcome to the show. So let me see if there's anybody who's bold tonight. Are there any one of you tonight who are willing, right? I'm going to try something. Let me see which one of you guys have some kahunas around here. All right, let's take a look. Which one of you, how many subscriptions do you have? Or have you checked your subscriptions? Off the top of your head, you may not remember all of them, but how many do you think you have? Who wants to put it in the chat? Let me see if anybody is bold tonight and want to put it in the chat. Is anybody bold tonight and they want to put it in the chat? Who's bold? Who's bold tonight? I want to see if any one of you are bold tonight and put it in the chat. Which one of you are going to do that tonight? How many subscriptions do you have that you're paying for on a monthly basis? Like some of you may have Netflix and chill. Some of you may have Hulu. Some of you may have Amazon. Some of you may have, there was this thing that I was doing online for a little bit and I canceled it. And actually they owe me about $60 something. And tonight after the show, I'm actually going to claim my $60 something. That's gas I can use. But does anybody want to take a shot at it tonight and tell me how many subscriptions? You don't have to tell me how much it's worth, but do you know how many subscriptions that you subscribe? Wow. Peach Google said around 7. You don't have to put. Okay, thank you for sharing that. You don't have to put your business out on what they are, but I know people have 7. I wonder what the average is. Let's Google that. You know what? I want someone, to Google it. Someone who's, if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching, what? I'm going to Google it. Let me Google it on my phone. I'm going to Google it. Give it a second. I'm going to Google. Hold on. Let's see. I have something here I don't want to lose, but I'll come back to it. Let's Google the average consumer apps the average consumer subscriptions on your cell phone. Let's see what it says. Okay, it says the average consumer spends roughly between 140 to 160. And Robin said none. Oh, Robin, bravo. Robin said, I use cash money. Okay, it says the average consumer spends roughly between 140 to 160 monthly on cell phone service with major carriers. Now, that's not what I was looking for. Hold on. Let's. No, there it is. There it is. Okay. All right. So the average consumer spends roughly between 140 and 160 monthly on cell phone service with major carriers. I agree with that. I think mine costs something like that, right? While smaller carriers average about $30 to $44. Households manage an average of 7.4 subscriptions. So Peaches Goodwill, you at 7, you are right on there. It says household manage an average of 7.4 subscriptions, with many Gen Z and millennials managing 6 to 10 services on their phones, including streaming and app subscription, often leading to subscription fatigue. Right? And that is a lot. And the average consumer subscription on your cell phone, let me put, and I want to say, hold on. I don't want to lose this. Let's see. Hold on a minute. I don't want to lose this because I want to put and cost. Let's see what it says. And cost. Let's see. COSTS. All right. All right. Let's see. It says here, consumers frequently bundle these services with phone plans or pay for them directly via their phone apps, right? On average, this is going to blow you all's mind. Bonsoir, Kerserant. Ça qu'a fait? Comment ça va? Ça va bien? All right. On average, some of you may not want to hear this about the subscriptions that you have on your phones. The hidden cost, individuals spend an average of $17 per month. $17 a month, right? On subscriptions they don't use. And that's like about $200 a year. Because I know I use StreamYard every week. I use my personal Zoom for work almost every day, multiple times a day. I don't have an Amazon. Whenever I'm in my car, I listen to XM radio, so I use that. And my music channel, sometimes if I'm cooking or if I'm laying down and I want to listen to music, I don't want any interruptions. So I do that. I want to say good evening to Miss Mandy Richardson Ralph. How are you, my friend? I'm so glad that you're tuning in. And hello to Brent as well. Hopefully tomorrow we can connect I'm glad that you guys are in town. Glad that you guys are in town. Looking forward to that. Again, most important, I haven't seen this friend of mine. Gosh, we were youngins. I haven't seen them in about almost like 30 years. But the good thing is, we're gonna catch up, get to see each other. And I couldn't make the tennis matches today because I couldn't make it, but that's okay. But tomorrow I do have a funeral, and we can catch up. But the average, let me go back to this here. I want to make this clear. Mandy, what we're talking about tonight is April is Financial Literacy Awareness Month. And we're talking about hidden costs. The average consumer spends about $17 per month, about $200 per year on subscriptions they don't even use. So, Mandy, since you're pretty transparent and we've been friends for like 40 something years, right? What I'm going to say to you is this. How many apps? I know you got Uber because you got the Uber from Charlottesville. I know you got that. But how many apps do you think you have on your phone for when I say apps, so subscriptions, like Amazon, Hulu, Netflix, and things like how many apps do you think that you have on your phone? And you don't feel like answering, it's okay. But it's really important. And I want to address this tonight to tell people, how much money they're spending unknowingly and unnecessarily. And so that they can use that money and effectively redirect it into something efficient that could benefit your future self. And we'll get to that in a minute. So it says, hidden costs, individuals spend an average of $17 per month. That's $200 per year on subscriptions they don't use. Now, total monthly spend, the average household pays around $150 a month for all types of subscriptions. The average household spend about $150. And I think it might be more, especially with young people. The old people too, but some old people don't go to the store, but everybody use Amazon. I don't have an account. I've gotten stuff from there, but I don't have an account. I've never used it, so I don't even know. But Amazon is what I have a friend who was talking about. I have a colleague who was talking about, every day there's like a ton of packages at their house. I remember this pastor was talking about, every time he comes home, there's a ton of packages his wife orders. But my point is, that's how people shop. And remember, during the pandemic, it was efficient for people to do that because people weren't going anywhere. Mandy says she's guessing about 6. All right, that's a good guess because the average consumer has about 7.4 apps. So you're right around there. All right. So that is good. That is good. It says the total monthly spend is the average household spends around $150 per month for all types of subscriptions. And action taken, it says 61% of subscribers are reconsidering their paid subscriptions due to high costs. Especially now, are you trying to tell me gas is so expensive, right? Gas is so expensive. And you're telling me you're spending all this money on all this stuff. I just told you last night I had to fill up my tank, and it was like about almost $90 to fill it up, right? Good evening, Esther Duran Casimir Sakafet. How are you in St. Martin? Hope you're doing well. So the average subscriber are reconsidering their paid subscriptions due to high costs, with 26% having already canceled at least one. So this is not a mandate, but a challenge for you. Go through your phone after the show or sometime this week or this month and look at all the apps you have. I know none of you all are going to cancel Amazon because people live off that, right? But I want you to look on your phone and see if there's a subscription that you can cancel. At least one. And bank that money. Save it. I don't care if it's $5, $15, $20, do that. It says 61% of subscribers are reconsidering Their paid subscriptions due to high costs, with 26% having already canceled at least one. So I challenge you guys, which one of you would do that? You don't have to say me in the chat, but it's, in your mind, that's your challenge. It says, note, many users are overpaying as much as 80%. As much as 80% of adults now have at least one subscription, leading to subscription creep, right? So almost everybody who have a phone, a cell phone, and we live off our cell phones, because is anybody on this line here anybody on this live tonight has a landline? I don't know. There's very few people. Well, the client we went to see today had a landline. And it's okay. Some elderly people do have landlines. They do. But it's important. It's very, very important for some people. But I'm not getting a landline for what? I remember a couple months ago, Verizon you couldn't use your phone. It was frustrating as hell. But that's not going to drive me to get a landline. It's a cost. It's a cost. Now, people have I think Uber nowadays, especially if you're a business person, you need an Uber app. If you're traveling, especially New York, most of the times now people don't even, like Boston, New York, even Richmond, more urban areas, people use Uber a lot. So, Matt, do you have a landline? Oh my gosh. OMG. I can't believe that. But it's okay. And nothing is wrong with that, because people who have landlines, they never really use it. And all you get on their spam calls, and no one's going to call you on that. And even if somebody had a landline, when last you called somebody on a landline? On their landline? When last? Esther Durant Casby said, truth, I get rid of mine in 2017. Okay, so Esther, you're pretty cool. I'm going to ask you a question, and I think you'll share it because you're pretty cool. How much were you paying for that landline in 2027 when you cut it off? Just give me that figure a month and put it in the chat for me. I'm going somewhere. With that. How much were you paying for a landline? Esther says a waste of time. So Esther, how much were you paying for that landline back in 2027 when you cut it off? I want to know. I'm going somewhere. How much was it a month, Esther? Do you remember? Please put it in the chat for me, because I'm going somewhere. Right? So remember, the challenge tonight to everyone is find out if there's a subscription you can cancel. Like, some people are TV heads. They can't live without TV. So they got to watch, Netflix and chill, or movies, or Hulu. Technically for me, what I really watch on television is sports, and even nowadays, if there's a big game, and you can go to the bar and watch the game, but people say, oh, I want to watch the news. You can download Channel 7, Channel 5, Channel 4, NBC, CBS, Fox, CNN. You can download their apps and watch it on your phone. So technically, you don't need to be a TV to do that. But people like the big screen and certain things you're watching, So Esther, what was the cost of your landline that you were paying for every month? Oh, Mandy, you say you have one now. Do you know? I know it's probably bundled with your cell phone, but what is the cost for your landline? Put it in the chat, because I want to show you guys something. Somebody, whoever has a landline, put it in the chat for me. The amount that you pay a month, or that you were paying a month. I want to show you something. Especially Esther, because Esther said she stopped in 2017. So I wish she would tell me how much she was paying for her landline back in 2017. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 9 years, Esther. So tell me how much, guys. Put it in the chat. I know there's a little delay, so I'm waiting for it because I want to show you something. I want to just show you something because what happens is like we look at the macro, the big picture. We don't look at the micro. Like you have macro economics and microeconomics. So Mandy said her landline was $8 a month. It's $8 a month, and Mandy, you live in New York, and you've been in New York for like 30 years or something like that, right? So let's assume 5 years is 60 months, 10 years is 120 months, right? So let's do some math. Hold on, let me get my calculator. Let's do some math. 120 times 3. That's 360 months, right? 360 months times 9. He said $8. Now think about it. $8 a month is not a lot of money, right? 12 months, that's $96. So can you imagine if you were investing that $8? For those of you who like investing in mutual funds or Robinhood or Charles Schwab or Fidelity, Empower, Vanguard. Can you imagine what it would have been at that time? So you say 360 times 8. That's only 2,880, right? That you've paid over that period of time. But guess what? Compound that uninterruptedly over the years. You were probably making a killing, right? You probably would have been making a killing. So I know now they give you a cheap rate for a landline because if there's a blackout, you can still use your phone. You could plug into the wall, right? But the reason why Esther says that there was a fee for just having a line, it was 50 cents every time you made a local call, and then you had to pay international calls, etc. To tell you the truth, I don't remember how much I was paid. All right. Do you think you were paid about, I don't know, a month? Not the international calls, but $40 a month? I don't know. Imagine, okay, let's say you were paying $40 a month, right? I'm just going to use that. You said 12. Also, let's see. Do some math. Times 9 is 108 times 40. So you know what, Esther? Was it last year you went on your cruise or 2 years ago? All that money you paid you would have been paid from 2017 till now. And I know you're not doing it, but you had it for a long time. But, now everybody has a cell phone. That's the cost of a cruise. And you like to travel. $4,320 is a good price for a cruise. And I'm using that concept to tell you guys, I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money. I'm not here to tell you not to spend your money. I'm not here to tell you don't spoil yourself with gifts. I'm not here to tell you don't enjoy the fruits of your labor, because you can't just work. And then, what did they say? All work and no play makes Jane a dull girl. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So treat yourself to something good. Sometimes you may get a manicure or pedicure or massage, hair done, or go somewhere. All of those things people do, right? You can do that, right? You should do that. But I'm saying financial literacy has to do with discipline. It has to do making sure that you put something aside every time you get paid. You got to return your tithes and offerings. If you're not religious or you don't believe in that concept, I'm not here to argue with you about that. You know, it's a law of reciprocating. You return back to the good Lord. If you believe in the Bible, Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, God created heaven and the earth. So if God created heaven and the earth, he owns everything. And he's only asking you for 10%. It's not the 10% that's the problem. It's how you manage the other 90%. Is the way you manage. I saw Pastor Jamal Bryant said he met a Jewish rabbi. I don't know if it was in Baltimore years ago. And he says, he doesn't teach his church tithing. He teaches them budgeting so that they can manage that 90%. Because a lot of people are making a lot of money. They don't have a money problem. They have a spending problem or a budgeting problem. So I'm not here to ostracize anybody and tell them that they're not doing a good job, because some of you are my clients, some of you are my potential clients, and I've seen the structure and the discipline that you've had over the years. What I'm saying is that, especially now that things are tighter, gas is up, electricity is up. You may have make it an arrangement to pay your bill. You know what I'm saying? Cut back and you figure out one of these apps. Which app you're going to get rid of? Is it Uber? Is it DoorDash? Is it Lyft? Is it Amazon? I know none of y'all are canceling Amazon. None of y'all. Is it whatever it is that costs you money? A subscription, not necessarily an app, but it's a subscription, something that you pay for. And whatever it is, I don't care if it's $8 a month like Mandy, or if it was $5 or $20 a month, just put that in an account, let it grow. Then when it comes to a certain amount, you dump it into your life insurance, cash value, because you don't want to save in banks. Banks are just made to pay bills and get mortgages and car loans and equity line of credits and stuff like that. So tonight, for Financial Literacy Awareness Month, I want each and every one of you to review your subscriptions. Are all of them necessary? With Uber, I understand. You're traveling; it's very convenient. I use an Uber. When was the last time I used an Uber? I think in Atlanta. My daughter got baptized last year, I think it was. And I flew into Atlanta and I took an Uber from the airport to the church. They were supposed to pick me up, but they were running late. I hate to be late for church. So I even got to the church before they opened the church. And then, after that, I had lunch with them and then they dropped me at the airport. My point I'm making is, look at your subscriptions and see what you're doing. Mandy said, I'm going to look closer at my apps. And that's all I'm saying. So Mandy, I know you, I'm picking on you because you're my friend. I know you like to travel. I see you traveling all over the world. You're in Europe, you're in Bermuda, where you're from originally, you're in South America, you're everywhere. So, because you like to travel, that could be spending money when you travel. Maybe money you could use it for eating or buying stuff. So, and if you have, and some of you may have grandchildren. I don't. I think one day I will soon. My daughter got engaged. Hopefully she'll get married soon, make me a grandpa. And then, you can dump that money into, an infinite banking concept, aka IRS code 7702, that you can use for them for their future, for your grandkids or your grandchild or your nephew or your niece or somebody that you feel is worthy, or you can do it for yourself as well. You know, just take a closer look at your apps. I'm not here to listen, folks. I never, my clients, I never tell them what to do. I give them advice, but really my advice is their choice. But I am telling them what to do, but I can't make them do it. I always tell my clients, my recommendations are usually orders, but I cannot order an adult to do anything. It's their decision based on what they want to do, right? Based on what they want to do. So what I tell people is, make sure make sure that you do what you're supposed to do. Make sure that you taking care of yourself. Make sure that you are, you know rewarding yourself for small and large victories, but also make sure that you're putting some away for a rainy day. And if you're doing that with the money that you're saving, um, you can use it later for stuff that you love to do. What do you love to do? Travel, eat out, get your hair done, get your this done, your toes done, your arms done. I don't know. So if the average American consumer or the average consumer has 7.4 apps, subscription apps on their phone, you may want to decide which one that you want to get rid of. Is it beneficial to you? Is it beneficial to you? And save that money, bank that money. And that money could be spending money for your vacations. It could be monies that when it comes to a certain amount, you can put it into something. It could be your gift giving jar or bucket of money. If you're going to put it in a bank, which I'm against, but you do, or credit union, make sure that account has no debit card, no um, check writing ability or money market, none of that. And, no debit card. And, so that you can have the money automatically go from your checking account to that account. Or if you are very disciplined, you can manually put the stuff on, manually go deposit into the bank. Good evening, Miss June Bardui Ansel. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. We're talking about tonight. April is Financial Literacy Awareness Month. And Junie, I want you to check your phone and see how many apps you have on your phone, subscriptions. Amazon, Uber, DoorDash, Lyft, Netflix, Hulu, all those different, Apple Music, YouTube Music. Figure out which one of those you can get rid of. You see, you can listen to music on YouTube, but they have a lot of commercials, and that's annoying. So if I'm in a mood, if I'm in a vibe, if I'm driving, or if I'm just with my headphones on, I want to hear music. I don't want no interruptions. So that's why I have a subscription for that. But I just canceled something the other day. I did. And I'm getting a refund of $62 and change. And if you wait a week, you get the whole 62 and change. But if you do it immediately, you get $1.44 back. So tonight, I need that $62 and change. That's like about half a tank of gas with where gas is now. So tonight, for Financial Literacy Awareness Month, this is your challenge. Find one subscription that you can get rid of and bank that money. Some of you might be able to do 2 or 3. And if you have grandkids or kids, drop it into 7702 plan, infinite banking concept, IBC plan. So your child or your grandchild can access it, or you can access it, on a tax favored basis in the future. And sometimes little tips like this, people think, oh, it's only $5 or $10 or $8 or $20. It adds up. When I was a kid, my mother used to pick up pennies, whether it's in the laundromat on the street. I'd be like, Ma, it's a penny. And she used to say, a penny saved is a penny earned. A penny saved is a... Now, I was going walking the other day and I passed this car wash. I saw a dime, a nickel, and a penny. I picked up all three of them. I pick up pennies now when I see them. And my car has a little red um, cup. And I throw coins in there whenever I find it. I just throw them in there. So tonight, your challenge is, well, I got rid of my dating site apps. Good for you, Mandy. Laugh out loud. Mandy's my good friend. You got I thought dating apps sites were free. You got to pay for those bad boys. Golly gee, I don't know, but that's what I want you to do. Look at some of that stuff that's costing you money, and especially now we're in a situation. Markets are unstable. France, I believe, took out all their bonds from the U.S. or the gold from the U.S. or whatever. So make sure you put in something into a vehicle or program where you have guaranteed growth. It does not interrupt compounding, and you're safe. You listen to me. Nothing is wrong with taking risks, but this will be a portion of your money. I don't care if it's 5%, 10%, 50%, 2%. This should be a percentage that should be risk adverse. All right, it should be risk adverse. Mandy said, well, Facebook dating is free. Oh boy, my friend, she has never changed. I love her for that. So tonight, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in with Tuesdays with Terrence. April is Financial Literacy Awareness Month. Google it. It was created to have your financial literacy awareness on point. And if you do some research and start Googling the average apps people have and how much money people are spending on food service and on that and on this and on that. And don't get me wrong, if you budgeted for it in your budget, you know what? It is. But if you want to find a way to cut, a good person or a good manager knows how to make cuts. The government has to cut budgets, your job, your home, any one of those things, each and every one of you
Battery medium.
should be doing.
Virus alert scammer.
So the show is called Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is H. Terrence Bardui. Some people call me H, some people call me Havis, some people call me Terrence, some people call me Mr. Bardui. If you're from Dominica, 767. Whitey Kubuli, tall is her body. You call me little boy. If you're from the village of Point Michelle, St. Luke's Parish, aka La Pointe, you call me Luku boy. Dominica made me, Boston raised me, now the South sustains me. As we leave tonight, folks, I just want to tell you guys, I'm very proud of you and I'm very thankful for your support. So this month, let's do something for Financial Literacy Awareness Month. Let's do something different and be a little more, I don't want to say frugal, a little more responsible in our spending. And on that note, on that song, my theme song, I'll play it for you that I wrote, song by AI, The Roots of My Rise, I can say good night. Good night, everybody. God bless you. Listen to the song. Ow! I'm not going to play the guitar tonight.
Dominica made me, that's where it all began. Island breeze, coconut trees, the heart of my plan. From the hills and the smiles to the songs of the seas, That island spirit molded the person I be.
Ow!
Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray.
Are you ready for the fray?
On those snowy streets, learn to stand tall, navigating life, every rise, every fall. From the comments to the brownstones, I made my claim. With every lesson learned, I embrace my name. Boston raised me with hustle and grind. City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray.
Good night, everybody. God bless you. God bless you. Have a good night. Mandy, I'll call you tomorrow. Woo!
Now the South sustains me with its warm embrace, a community of strength and love in every space. From the bayous to the beaches, I found my place. In this journey of finance, I've learned to chase grace. Dominica made me, Boston raised me high. The South sustains my soul as I reach for the sky. With every sunrise, I'm thankful and free. A licensed financial pro, just being me.
Every penny counts when it saves, guys. When it comes to savings, every penny counts. So cancel one of these apps for Financial Literacy Awareness Month.
So here's to the roots that shaped who I am. From the Dominica's beauty to Boston's Grand Slam. In the South I stand strong with purpose and pride. Together with my journey, side by side.
Good night, everybody. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. It's so good to see so many people on tonight. It's so good to see my friend visiting the Commonwealth. And so all of you who tuned in tonight, welcome and thank you for tuning in. And on that note, I say God bless you. Hasta la vista, babies. One love, and thank you for tuning in. If you like what you heard, like and share this with some individuals so that they too, for Financial Literacy Awareness Month, can cancel one of their subscriptions and then bank and save that money. I'm out. Peace. One love, one heart.